Give me a little extra light. Hey, we're live here. Just a scoosh past noon here on the Eastern. It's Friday. I believe it's August 14th. I'm so glad it's not Friday the 13th or anything like that. Not that I'd mind, but people out there, maybe people on this show, who knows? This show, Small Biz Breakdown. Come on, you know what it is. It's Friday afternoon. We have a pretty full set of folks. I'm just looking in the virtual green room. Yeah, okay. Let's bring him out. I don't think he was. Yeah, I think Leland. Were you here last week? Let me see. Leland from Oregon. Were you missing last week or were you here?
I was missing last week. It was a nasty cold. Went through the whole house. You could probably still hear it on me a little bit. It's been a crazy week.
But you're looking and sounding like you might be feeling better.
Yeah, a bit better. It's fair week too. So we took the kids to the fair, got a little bit of sun, a little bit of heat, well, a lot of bit of heat, and some unhealthy food.
Absolutely, I'm all down with the unhealthy food. Were you like corn dogs or like stuff like that or?
Yeah, corn dogs were one of them. Deep fried, French fries and stuff like that. Anything that you could get deep fried.
Anything worth deep frying is good for me. All right. Well, we're glad you're feeling better and that you're back. All right. Let's go eastbound. Now, usually this time we would be making our pit stop in Gary, Indiana to visit with the one and only Pierre, who goes by one name because I really don't know how to say his last name. I'm about 50% on it. I think the last time I did, I actually got it right. But anyway, unfortunately, Pierre won't be able to join us. It seems like that part of the country has just been getting slammed day after day, week after week with very tough weather, like torrential downpours, like ridiculous thunderstorms, hurricanes spinning up. No, not tornadoes spinning up every now and again. And I think it really caused a lot of damage pretty close to where he lives. And I think there's some kind of repair going on, and that's one of the reasons why he's not able to join us. So we'll just keep a good thought in mind for Pierre, and hopefully we'll get to see him next week. But you know who is back and is in that musical, mystical, magical place called Medina. It's Madam Mike Drop herself. That's like 5-6 M's in a row. But her name is Evena Taylor. Hey, Evena.
Hi, everyone. Good to be back. Good to see all your faces.
It's good to be seen. And look at that smile.
Doing so much smiling because I'm making progress. That's a good thing.
Oh, that's really
moving forward. It's all about moving forward.
It's moving forward. All right. Well, we could move forward. Now, usually we move forward to our nation's capital, but Mr. Smile himself, Shashi Bellamkonda, is not there. I think he's probably somewhere in the world smiling. I think he's smiling on a plane, actually, or smiling in a meeting. We just know that he's smiling wherever he is. But hopefully we'll get to see him next week. But guess who else? He was smiling for a second there. Yeah, it looks like it might be growing. I'm looking at. Yeah, it's a little. Yeah, it's you. Don't stop shaking your head. It's you. It is the one and only Ramon Ray, who is coming from us or to us. Yeah, coming to us. From what he says is the nation's capital of some kind of visitation. Ramon Ray.
Brent Leary, Evena Taylor, Leland McFarland, and of course, the best host we have is coming up. It's good to be here. And it's good to be here. Vacation capital of the world, Brent. Vacation capital of the world. Those who don't know, seriously, vacationcapitalnj.com. It's a website, vacationcapitalnj.com. It's good to be here.
You're doing okay right up until you said the next guy coming up is something. I kind of lost track after that. Anyway, it's good to see you. Let's move on. Is Brent going to talk? I'm just reading his private chat. I'm making it unprivate. Is Brent going to talk the entire time to Leland? I mean,
it's been a while. He needs to catch up.
Brent, you talked 15 minutes with Leland, 15 minutes with Evena. You bring me up, and it's like, hey, let's move on.
We'd be at 12:30 if that were the case, but just thought I'd mention that. Anyway, let's bring on last and certainly, as usual, least He is the cold one. Some call him the bold one. I think I'm the one who popularized Colder Ice Lawson. He called himself that, but nobody really cared till I gave him this really good intro. So here he is wearing the best shirt in the world, John Colder Ice Lawson.
Here's a finger for you.
At least it's not the other one. Thank you. What's on your hat? You don't usually wear a hat. What's on there? Can't really see that.
Jim Beam.
Oh, you got some.
I went out to take my daughter out for her birthday. We went to a bar and they were giving out Jim Beam stuff. I took it and was like, I actually haven't worn a hat in years. So I put it on and I kind of like it.
They were giving out Jim Beam stuff and you grabbed a hat instead of the actual Jim Beam?
I'm not really into Jim Beam, but they were giving out drinks too. T-shirts, hats, and drinks.
T-shirts, hats. Oh, yeah. Okay. That wasn't the story I was looking for, but okay. What's going on with Ramon here? Is your dream too small? Is it? Ramon, is your dream too small, man?
I didn't know that would be live. That's stuff I'm doing in 50 minutes, and I'm like, let me test it. I didn't know.
He's out here. He's already thinking past this show to his next show.
I got a lot going on, guys. Y'all have the thing is, Brent. Even she does her DIY marketers, all the big brands shovel money to her. Leland, little coding, doing his stuff. The brand shovel money to him. John, like, oh, I'll teach you how to spell AI. All the people put him on the stage. I see you, Alibaba and more. John's doing. Brent Leary, we know him, sir. We don't have the full we don't have the full jet. Are you able to go on the SAP and Salesforce and Microsoft and Zoho and all the big companies? Can we fly you in our plane? Me, I got to work hard, people. I don't have jobs like y'all, so that's what I'm doing.
You lost me once again when you said John helps people spell AI. That says it all. But yes. We appreciate.
John, Brent just took everything I said. I tried to. Brent just twisted the whole thing. John.
We appreciate you being here, and look, we appreciate Amber Donald being here. It's really good to see her whenever she shows up. And I think this is a new person. I don't think I've seen this person leaving a comment, but we love to see Michael Hackney. What does MFA stand? Masters of Fine Arts or something like that? Is that it? Thank you for joining us. And what topics will be discussed? That's a great question. All right. Not spell any. All right. Before we get into the great topics for Michael, we got to go over the weekly topic. Inflation, just a little up. I think it's on track for about 3.4% this year. Jobs actually, jobs are evaporating. Not only the jobs that they just announced, but they actually went back the last couple months and downgraded the number of jobs that they said were created back then. So we've actually lost some jobs in this latest report. Still in a war, still no end to the war. I think that's all I got for the setup. All right, so Ramon.
Yes, sir.
How are you feeling this week about things?
Overall, Brent, always it'll be 2 to 3 levels for me. Personally speaking, going through a little of this and a little of that. I'll leave it there, but that's a personal level. Business-wise, I'm in a season of exploration, a season of really, there's a lot of positivity around me. Many of us know each other and see things. My public face is a little different than private when I pull back the curtain a little bit. But Ramon Ray, the brand, there's some good things and things going. I'm still in the fight. You know what I mean? Which is good. Kind of like the gladiator. They nicked him here and there, but you know how it's going to end. He's got a few hits left. And then lastly, though, talking about economically, which is why I'm here to help kind of educate you all and steer the conversation. Listen, I think we're still in a pensive area. In a pensive figuring things out. And so overall, as of today, Ramon and representing the small business cohort that I do, we're doing okay, but cautiously.
Cautiously okay. Pensive. That's a new word. We haven't used that one before in the show. Who do you want to go next?
I'd like to do my friend Ivana. Ivana kind of is nice, my yin and yang, and brings the, brings the sensibility to my. Ooh, Ivana kind of brings it back to.
Oh, you are so kind.
Thank you.
Is the question how am I doing or what's going on? Or
Yeah, that question I ask you guys like every week.
every single week. It is my least favorite question in the world. But I'm going to talk about personally / professionally. So I've been doing some okay, blah, blah, blah. I've had a bunch of little conversations. And one conversation I was super excited about that I had this week is from A. Weber. Talk about blast from the past.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one in a while.
Haven't heard that one in a while because they've kind of been laying low, but they are one of the OGs in the email marketing space. And I've had the chance to like hit their site and see what they're doing. And if you're a small business owner and how I've been feeling, direct marketing, double down on that. And of course, if you're going to do that, email is going to be a great tactic to help you through that. What you need is a tool. They are doing some exciting things. Nimble is doing some super exciting things in the world of email.
Another blast from the past, John Ferreira. Yeah.
And you know what's really fascinating about John, and I guess like A. Weber, and I put Zoho in this space as well. I've been going through this sort of shift transformation professionally / personally. And you guys have heard me say, I feel like a disillusioned marketer. And the reason I feel that way is because I feel like we are no longer the customer in so many spaces. And so I'm very, very focused on recommending and building relationship with B2B brands who do put the small business owner at the center, who have centered the small business owner over topic du jour, whether that's like AI as a topic. I'm not saying there's no AI. I'm just saying keeping the small business owners experience and budget in the forefront. And did you know so first there was Constant Contact in 95, then came A. Weber in 1998. I mean, the OG millionaire marketers, who are the experts in marketing, who are selling programs, built their entire brand and platform on A. Weber. And out of those original ones, Constant Contact and A. Weber, and then came Keep, and then came the rest. A. Weber is still owned by the founder, still independent, still doing the thing they do. And I really like that. So that kind of had me feel more optimistic. I don't know what that means. That's just me, right?
You ended with optimistic, so I think that's good.
I mean, I am not optimistic. I'm not optimistic about the global economy. I'm not optimistic about the dollar. I am not optimistic about a lot of things. And that's why I chose to focus on this today, because you got to find the optimistic needle in the haystack.
Oh, now I like that. Find the optimistic AI needle in the haystack.
Did she get a mic drop now, Brent? I mean, I said a lot.
That was
Is
good.
that one?
That was good. I like that one.
You
Give her
know,
a mic drop. Just
Very
give her a mic drop.
simplistic, right to the point. And I think it fits.
I am. So I'm going to throw it over to Leland.
Leland, try to get a mic drop. Brent's going to be very tough on you. He's biased. Go ahead, Leland. Try.
I don't want to try to force a mic drop because then it just sounds contrived.
Sounds like wanting, needy.
Awkward.
Yeah, you don't want to be.
You never want to try to force it. It's just awkward. I mean, this week has been it's been busy. It's been a blur. Like yesterday, it was crazy. My hosting company just shut down, like everything shut down, because their AC system shut down. And so they're like, well, we can't have all the servers running when there's no AC, or else all the parts are going to go melting. And so basically Small Business Trends all day yesterday was just not accessible. And it's just,
When was the last time that happened? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, there was one time, it was a couple of years ago, that we got hacked and the guy like just nuked the site. I had a backup. Well, actually, he didn't do it very well. He just did the delete command and it just like moved the files to a deleted folder, and I was able to just throw him back, but it was only for like a couple of hours, and got him out and all that. But it was, I've never had it gone for like an entire day. I've been able to fix things, but it's just just trying to deal. And I had to tell myself, I can't do anything. There is nothing I can do right now. So I just had to kind of sit back and accept it, and then follow everything and be like, why isn't it up? You're saying that dedicated servers, I got a dedicated server. Why, they're saying that it's up. Why isn't mine up? And just try to put a little pressure on them, but not a lot of pressure. But just crazy week. It's gone by a blur. When it comes to like the state of the world, I look at it and I go, are people, are markets crashing? From what I saw, like throughout the week, the different markets were hitting all-time highs, I think. Are we hitting recessions? No. I'm not. I'm kind of where Ramon is at. I was like, yeah, there are things going on in the world. Yes, statistics have come out, maybe not the best, but it's not like our Armageddon level. So I'm where Ramon is, where it's just like, yeah, stuff's going on. I'm going to keep one eye open, keep an eye on the situation, but I'm not going to let it make me lose sleep. I'm not going to worry too much about it. And I think that small business owners shouldn't. They should just head down, focus on their small business, maybe go into adjacent markets to kind of expand themselves a little bit to kind of give themselves some coverage. And if anything does happen, be in the best position that you can be in order to be able to ride out anything that comes your way.
Wow, that was really good. But would you kind of describe it as you're pensive too?
I don't know if I'd go as far as pensive. I think that's just just a syllable too far.
I have my pensive movement, so I just thought I'd put it in there. Anyway, that leaves the one and only man with the beautiful shirt, John Cold Rice Lawson.
Well, I hate to piss on the parade.
Do you really?
No.
Really? I didn't think so.
No, because I mean, since I was last called, it gave me plenty of time to do research.
Really? Okay.
John, that's
So
not fair. John, that is
consumer
not.
sentiment has dropped by 8% in August.
It's not fair, John.
Yeah, we're only halfway through.
Yeah, and killing 2 months of recovery.
2 months?
Yes.
Really? Wait a minute. We're trending the right way, and then August is just
we're just slightly trending 2%, 1%, and all the way back. Now here's the one that was good. Gas is $4.08 a gallon.
How is that good?
Up from $3.85 a month. Last month.
I'm trying to find
$3.85 a gallon last month.
Doesn't sound good.
That doesn't sound. Oh, I thought that was winning. Sorry.
We got confused. Jokes. We got so
confused. But I mean, it's just, here's my thing. My thing is we're already going into a very contentious fourth quarter when you talk about having to deal with election cycles, and then having this kind of news jumping on top of that. No end to this ever going war. But hey, the stock market is up, so that's putting money in my pocket. Whatever. I don't get it, but I think it's totally part of the K economy. The wealthy are doing fine, and the street is just, taking the brunt of all the craziness.
Hey, Brent, can I ask John a follow-up?
Sure.
Yeah. Do you find, though, John, that there are 3 sectors in America, I'm talking about the world, that there is the super, super wealthy, however we define that, but I've been in some circles where I'm realizing the money is there. Owners of football teams, owners of basketball teams, hundreds of millions, super wealthy. Then you do have those, and it could be many in our family and others. I have people in my family, they're on welfare, on government assistance, pretty jacked up. Maybe they don't have education, doing pretty bad. And they've been generationally. There's that segment. But then there's what I'll call all of us here, more or less middle class-ish. Some are doing a little better than others. But seriously, do you find though? Because my point is, John, when you said A and B, I was just curious. Can we not admit though there are 3 broad buckets in America? It's not just 2 buckets.
Let me just school you on something.
Okay.
And I made this up. This comes from me. There's only one class to watch. See, because the super wealthy are going to still be super wealthy
all day long. Yep.
Or are going to always be poor.
Yes,
so
I agree.
The poor people are not going like, oh man, things are really tough.
Yeah.
They already been dealing with tough.
Yeah.
It is the middle class you got to watch.
Fair enough. Thank you.
That's it. I thought you were going to school us on something we didn't know. That's it.
I mean, look, hey, we sit here and we talk about the stock market more than anything ever. We talk about small business, a little bit, but we don't really talk about what those people are actually saying, which I have to deal with like on a daily basis because I coach small business owners.
Right.
So
what are they saying? Give us like the highlights. What are they telling you right now?
I mean, they're struggling, and I'm telling them, this is just another one of those phases that you got to go through. You as a business owner, we go through this all the time. This is what it's like being a business owner.
So are these folks that are new to business, like relatively new to business, or because it sounds like they're not the seasoned folks that have been through this before, like all of us, I'm guessing.
I mean, the thing is that when you are in the game 20 years, you get to see patterns that people that are in the game 5, 6, maybe even 10 years don't get to see. So even though a 10-year person sees numbers, they don't see the same numbers that a 20-year person sees. So the longer you're in business, the more you are able to understand the cycles that your business is going to go through.
I would say it's not just what they see, it's what they feel. Like they've actually gone through these. They have the feelings that go along with the stats and all that these younger folks don't have, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But and more than anything, I think they feel such a feeling of it's like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going on? And I'm like, you got to just mellow. Your job right now is to stay above water.
But John, let me know what you think about this, John. Again, Brent, feel free to shut me up any time. But that's why I say, isn't it, not put words in your mouth, but I do think for the class you just said, middle class, for small businesses, those we hang out with, and I'm talking about small businesses, you're full-time, money's coming through in some way. That's why I say cautious optimism. No matter what season my business is in, I'm hopeful there's somebody out there, somebody meaning a pool of people that want what I have. My job is to find them and sell it. That is the cautious optimism, no matter the stock and all that stuff. And listen, it's really bad, of course, but no matter that, there's always somebody out there, maybe a little harder, who's thirsty and wants my lemonade. It may not be lines, but if I can go around, there's some people out there metaphorically. So that's why cautious optimism for me, and yes, the small business, hurting or not, struggling or not, man, there's people out there who need their lawn mowed. There's somebody out there whose dog just broke the door and needs you to fix that door.
And part 2 of the game is money never dries up. It just moves.
That's right. It's a game.
Got to be where the puck is going.
That's right.
I like this. This has been one of the more interesting weekly rounds to that question, because it felt like it was going to go one way, then it kind of went the other, then it ended up somewhere between. I like that though. I really do like that, but I really like the shirt he's wearing the most out of all this thing.
And you know what? Can we just cut to the chase, Brett? This is an inside joke for our audience. IRL CRM players in real life. Brent Leary and Paul Greenberg, I think it was kind of a joint production, produced an event in Atlanta X months ago, bringing together hundreds, by my count, of top-tier analysts and techies and others in the CRM space. Many of us here were there, so kudos to Brent. CRM by CRM players in real life, production of Brent. Look it up, Google it, the link somewhere on there. And kudos. He has a whole podcast ecosystem. Shashi and others of those of our hosts, or whatever you call us, actors, stars, talent in this show. Shashi and others do a show. Monique may be there. And that's part of the CRM Players ecosystem. This show, CRM Players, and then IRL, in real life event that he probably be doing every year. You can buy your ticket and come and hang out with me, even Leland, John, and Brent. Back to you, Brent.
Damn, that was damn good.
Thank you, sir.
That's going to make for an excellent video clip. You best believe it. Oh, by the way, February 23rd and 24th next year.
Okay. Yeah.
Same place right here in Atlanta. Same place. Anyway, I digress. I made my day, but I digress. All right. So I was going to go one way, and I think we'll go there eventually, because even posted a really great article that she wrote on LinkedIn and other places. I want to get into that. But Michael Hackney, very interesting question for this particular panel. Michael wants to get your take on whether he should make the move, because he wants to make the change from employee to entrepreneur, but it doesn't know how to get started. Can the panel offer some tips, resources, websites to get started? Whoever wants to jump in and help Michael first, do it.
Let's do it. I'll be very brief so I can leave time for others. But Michael, here's a few things I would say. I've been through there. I worked at the United Nations for over 10 years until I was fired. Contract wasn't renewed, but I was fired from there, as it were, because I had a part-time business, and I was fired because there's rules and regulations. So Michael, I've been through that. But the summary of it is, I think, one, thank God for your job, unless it's something extraneous, horrible, but thank God you're getting a check every 2 weeks. Enjoy it. That's one. Number two, learn all you can. And again, there's no time to go back and forth here, but learn what you can, Michael, if you can, from the job you have. Three, possibly they can be your best, biggest, or first client. So that's one. Be grateful for what you have. Number two, I think I would say learn the art of business. If you don't know it, you may, Michael, so it's not just for the whole audience, but know the art of business. Sales and marketing, who are your customers? How can you serve them? Where are they at? Profit and loss, all those things that you may know, where a simple Google search can unpack. So know the art of business. And number three, really yourself, Michael, hone in on, hey, before I leave, do I have a runway? 6 months? What happens if it all fails and doesn't work? What does my spouse or a significant other may say? Do I have kids or not? So I'll pause there, packed it all in there, but those are just a high level few things. And what I'll do also is just go through some of my favorite books, which may help. E-Myth Revisited, Michael Gerber. Check it out. If you don't have it, Michael, I would suggest you get it. I'll take a few more. Definitely Mike McAllowitz, my other friend from Vacation Capital World. Profit First. That's just another one there that comes to pass. A few others I'll just pull out. I love Marie Forleo's book, Everything is Figure Outable. That's a nice little tome that could be for you. And I think I'll end on another one of my friends. I was passing by, Celebrity CEO, about the power of personal branding. So just a few books. I will tag John. John, you do this all the time. You're a coach to people who have these questions all the time.
What's the question?
Dude, it's right in front of you on the screen. Well, I can't make it any plainer. But let me add that. Let me
from employee to entrepreneur, but know how to get started.
Now, wait a minute. Before you answer that, he added another question.
Oh, okay.
Well, another part of it. He got laid off. So with all that in mind, let me go here. With all that in mind, give him your thoughts.
That's because that second part adds a whole nother layer to
because Michael, you're not alone in that. There's a lot of people facing this very same situation.
So one thing I will tell you that there are a lot of people out there that will take advantage of your situation and tell you certain things that will try to release you from the money that you have. Don't do it. Spend your time and do things and think wisely, because this is not the game that you're just going to jump into and all of a sudden things are just going to be flowing in cash flow. Most real businesses take money out your pocket in the very beginning than to put it in.
That's right.
Anybody else?
I guess for me, I'd look at the situation and go, what are the skills that you have, exiting the job? What kind of profession were you in? And is this something that you can do kind of on the freelance side? If it isn't, then you may need to look more into kind of like maybe a retail shop or retail online. Either brick and mortar is going to be a lot more expensive than to do something online. But you may want to look at, maybe something that you can sell to be able to start a business in that. And with that, I would go more towards like, what are your hobbies? What are you like? Because if you're going in being like, well, I've heard so much about like, video games, but I know nothing about it, then you're going to go into an industry that, you may not have a passion for. Go always with something that you like, what you enjoy, or you have knowledge or training in to be able to work towards that. If you're going to go the freelance route, then start building your profile on like freelance.com, all of those sites where you can kind of put yourself up there and start building your reputation. Maybe take a smaller commission at first to be able to build up your reputation, some reviews, and then increase that amount of money as you've gotten experience. There's just a lot of directions. It all just depends on, a lot of factors, but as an entrepreneur, you have so many avenues. It's near infinite in what you can do. It's just, it really just comes down to what you know and what you're passionate about.
Oh, you guys were like my straight men, right? Because I bet Michael is sitting there going, oh, that all sounds nice. How am I supposed to do this? I'm going to tell you how you're going to do exactly what these people just told you to do. I do have one book recommendation. It's an older book, but it is just so good. It's called Designing Your Life. It was written by two professors from Stanford. They were friends. One was in HR, one was in software. Brilliant. It takes you from this dissatisfied place that you are, and it shows you how to look back on your life and move forward with the next big thing for yourself. So that's all I'll say about that. Read it. It's awesome. Let me go back and tell you how you're going to do the things these smart men just told you to do. Because I was in your place and it was not fun, because you're just like, oh, what do? I do marketing. What is that? There's like 1,000 people who do marketing. This is like not good enough. So here's what you do. Go find all, and there's two aspects to this. One, you're going to do manually with your little hands, manually. Maybe you're going to use index cards. Maybe you're going to use sticky notes. You are going to do this manually first, right? Because you need your brain to work a certain way. Number two, then you're going to go take what you learned, and then you're going to go use AI. So manual first, then AI. So here's what you're going to do. Go back, find as many job descriptions as you have ever had. Find your old reviews, find your old job descriptions, find your old notes, find those things. Once you found those things, I want you to go through each bullet point and ask yourself, why was I doing this? What was the entire purpose of this activity, this task or this responsibility that I had? I'm going to give you an example. One of my old job descriptions, my responsibility and my task was to do competitive intelligence, in some corporate way. I'm going to do competitive intelligence. Why? Why did I spend my time going to trade shows and jumping through dumpsters and all the different things to gather competitive intelligence? Why? It took me a while to figure this out, because I had bunches of little notes and index cards. And one day I'm looking at all this stuff on my floor, and I kept asking myself, why did I do it? Why was I doing these reports? Why was I doing these surveys? Why? What was the purpose? It suddenly dawned on me, because the purpose was to get our customers to choose our company every single time, regardless of price. That was my job. My job was to go figure out how to do that. Think about the value that gives you. So your first goal is to take those activities and tasks that you've done for probably many, many years, and you need to translate them into something that a customer would want to buy, some outcome that you want to translate that into. But keep asking yourself why. Why was I doing this? Why is this important? Once you've gone through this thing, you're going to have some ideas. and you're going to have some thoughts, and it's going to take some time. So give yourself some grace and be easy on yourself. Talk to other people. Like these guys said, identify your strengths. So you're going to go through this internal research part. This is part of the marketing process because your job is going to be marketing. This is part of the research part. Once you've done all that, now you can go into your AI tool, and now you can upload those notes and those documents and go through an iterative process of pulling out what that's going to be, who might want this service, who might want this thing that you're going to do. I'm going to stop talking, because you do the same thing with your industry, the same thing. You have to just keep researching, learning, process it in your head first, then go back into AI. And that's how you're going to most kind of get through this thinking process and this positioning process, so that you know what to sell to whom and where the value is. And I'm telling you all this because and my coach told me, even, why are you telling people that it's hard? Because it is hard. Running a marathon is hard. You got to train, and no one can do it for you. So, and to John, and I'm telling you to do all these things because, just like John said, there could be people out there going to be selling you silver bullets and promises. And you're going to be eager to buy that. But I guarantee you, having spent some of that money myself over the years, that is not the answer. The answer is already inside you. You just have to tease it out in a whole new way.
Now, let me get this first out of the way, because I know Ramon wants to make sure that gets shown on the screen. All right, I'll just add a really quick story, because I have a nephew who is really serious in trying to make it in acting and writing scripts and all that kind of stuff. And he's been doing like DoorDash for years, because that allows him to make some money, but also plan his own schedule out and try to do the things he needs to do. And it got to the point where it's getting a little tiresome, because you're not making the kind of money you really want to in order to do certain things. So just recently, and I had no idea, he did some kind of online, I don't think it was an interview, just online applying for a job with the post office. Who knew? They're hiring apparently they're hiring. So Michael, I don't know, maybe a short-term thing might be looking at some of those jobs that we kind of written off, because apparently they laid off so many of these folks that they had to hire some people back to work at places like the post office. And apparently they made him an online offer like within a week, and working like at the post office that's like the closest physical post office to where he lives. So maybe if it's about, at least for the time being, just having something to hold on to, maybe you look at some of those options while you try to figure all the stuff that they just set out. But I had no idea, because all we hear about all the layoffs, but apparently there are a lot of federal positions that got canned early on in this particular administration. They laid off so many people. Now they're realizing, hey, we need some people back. So maybe something to look into. I'm not sure where you live or what the need is there, but just something to consider.
Well, that's where that Designing Your Life book comes in, Brent, to your point. I'm just going to give you another actual example, right? Where you find a job, any job, right? So my son went to work at McDonald's, right? He was 16. And I said, you're going to walk over there, you're going to get that job. I said, but remember this one thing. You are not there to learn how to flip burgers. You are working for a Fortune 10 company that is going to give you #1 training in systems, processes, why things work the way they work, and so on and so forth. And then I gave him that Designing Your Life advice, which was take a job, any job. Look and see where you shine and what you love, and then look and see what you hate and you don't want to do this anymore. And then that way, the next thing you're looking for is that, oh, I want to do stuff that incorporates, whatever you like. And I want to ignore stuff that incorporates these other things, aspects that I don't like.
All right. Lots of great advice, Michael. I hope something helps. The book recommendations, just the kind of thoughts and experiences that these folks have, maybe they'll help you. Let's hope so. But thanks for joining us. And still, we're not done with the show. Let's do a quick round around one of our favorite folks, Amber, because she had a question too. I have a question about using automation tools from other countries. How are Americans users affected? Should we know the politics behind the AI companies? And then she threw in another one. What's going on with Manus? Is that the one that got bought by Meta a while back?
And then got reversed.
They did a reversal on them already?
China was like, no, you don't.
Oh, so the government didn't allow it. Okay, gotcha.
Blocked it.
Anybody have any answers for Amber?
I mean, I don't know. I use automation tools from different countries. Like heck, Zoho's from India. I use that all the time, and it's like awesome. I've used automation tools. I've used software from different countries. I will say this. My advice is with this stuff is don't choose a tool if you don't know exactly what you want it to do and how you want it to do it. Don't be falling for their, like, we do everything, right? I like tools that stay true to their core, more or less. Like I was talking about Aweber. Aweber's an email marketing tool. Their focus is email marketing. And yeah, they're creating like landing pages, for example, but they are going to be good at email marketing versus someone like a Lead Pages who also has email, but their thing is landing pages, right? So think about exactly what you need and how well this tool does it. I don't know if that answers your question. John,
I don't know if it
Leland,
does.
anybody?
I don't know what it does, but you're bringing up so many companies I haven't thought of in years. Lead Pages, Aweber, Constant Contact. It's like AI has completely displaced that for a lot of people, but they're still around and they're evolving it. That's interesting.
And they're evolving. And I think what the lesson I learned this week was I said, I was embarrassed. I was in a conversation. These people called me to do something. And I'm like, oh my God, what prompted you to call me? I've like been a customer in like 20 years. And I went back to their website and I was, holy Toledo, this is some good stuff. Right. And they're in Philadelphia. Wow. So, and they are, I don't know. And that's another thing, Amber. Look, I don't know how you are, my woman, but I am on this kick of really supporting companies who support small business. I get really peeved when they mess around with features and pricing just for their bottom line and not necessarily anything that makes sense for my business and my workflow.
Anybody else got anything to add?
So go ahead.
No.
All right. So I'm kind of wondering, based off of her question, if she's kind of wondering about, like, you have these new AI models coming out of China, Quen, that could be a significant disruption to like the American AI companies.
Already doing that, right?
Yeah, and that is one of my fears, that you're going to get like these Chinese companies who come in and basically give you AI that's really good and high quality, and it's going to drive out all of the competition in America and all these other countries, and then all of a sudden, well, it just crank up the price on it because, well, there's no more competition. That would be my main fear when it came to like these Chinese based AIs. I don't know if that will necessarily happen. I would imagine that there may be like some inner seating when it comes to that, to make sure that basically China doesn't rule the AI world. So I guess that's my thoughts on it. John.
So my thought is, and I don't know exactly what tools you might be talking about, but I'll go with Manus because, of course, that was one that you asked about. And I'll just use that as my overarching view of all tools. One of the things you have to understand first is that AI is very new, very new. A lot of companies are popping up overnight that are multi-million dollar, even billion-dollar valuation companies, but they haven't, been here and tested. None of them, they're all brand new. So keep that in mind when you think about risk versus reward. You've always got to take out a piece of paper and pen if you want and draw a line down the paper and like, here's the risk, here's the reward when it comes to using any company, you know? So you want to assess your risks with a lot of these companies before you build your whole automation, workflow, because they might not be here in 5 years or 5 months. What are you going to do then? You got to really think about that. And then I see your thing about follow up,
How trusting should we be in making apps without IT tech literacy or a tech team?
I go for it, but I would be very, very careful doing that externally at this point.
I've seen tutorials, coming up where it's just like, oh, this website, you could tell it's been like, vibe coded. And, here's this really, really obvious vulnerability in how to be able to get into their admin page and be able to wreak havoc. That's one of the benefits of being able to pair vibe coding with an actual coder. They can actually, position the prompts to make sure that holes are taken care of. They know how to test. They know how to put things through the stresses to make sure that vulnerabilities are sealed up. Vibe coding isn't necessarily the smartest at making sure that everything is, all the ducks are in a row. But if you can, that's the best thing. If you can get a tech guy with vibe coding, you're going to get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
That's the advice I got with my developer too. You know what I do, Amber? I mean, like, I don't know if this helps you out at all. What I do is if I have an idea for something, I will vibe code like a landing page or whatever. And then I'll take that and I'll slap that code into, let's say, like my Zoho landing page, right? And then I test that. And then my developer is now saying to me, hey, even though these pages are doing really well, it's time to move them over to DIY marketers. And he will program. He will take the look and feel and do what needs to be done and make that safe.
Yeah. And that was totally where I was, in that same area. I mean, if you just look at what happened very recently, with OpenAI's tool breaking out. Well, part of the breakout process was it found a vulnerability that the developers didn't even know existed from when it was coded many years ago, right? That's how fast these or how smart these tools are getting at finding holes. And a lot of, people are selling, hey, you can vibe code and make big bucks selling these apps to other people. Well, that's very dangerous when you start selling something to other people that you don't know the vulnerability of, because you leave yourself open to actually being sued. So you want to make sure that you take whatever you're building maybe and put it through some of the tests and get a actual person like Leland to go look at it, because they know what they're doing.
I got a question for you guys that's along these lines. So I've been watching, I track some like web design, web developers, SEO agency type folks and whatever. There's like there's two conversations. There are the folks that are like, I'm staying in WordPress. And then there are the folks that are like, we think we might dump WordPress. And and then I talk to my developer who is using AI, is using lots of stuff. But to your point, John, he's got it like nailed down, locked down. It's like special. right? It's special, and he's still doing it in WordPress. My question to you guys, maybe Leland, maybe John, like I asked him about Lovable, for example, because that's a popular platform. And he's like, oh no, because like it doesn't give you certain flexibility. It doesn't give you enough security, blah, you know, he went on this, he had a list. What are your guys' thoughts on this? You know, something other than WordPress, some AI thing versus traditional WordPress today?
I
For
would
what?
still.
What are you going to do with your WordPress? You looking for?
I'm not doing anything. I'm not looking for anything. I'm hearing this debate, and I'm not technical enough to know. My developer said my whole thing's on WordPress. My developer is like, yeah, saying WordPress, blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay, I have a content site, so WordPress is still relevant. But my question is for your basic small business owner, whether you're a consultant, maybe you're a landscaper, whatever. What do you guys think?
Okay, if you're gonna go bare bones, here's my information, then yeah, spin up like a quick thing at Square or Wix or whatever, to be able to get like a easy like drag and drop, something you can do, and you don't care how it looks, whatever. Just do a drag and drop maneuver. If you want something a little bit more complex, then yeah, go with WordPress. I wouldn't have AI make up anything within WordPress, just because. Or versus WordPress, I should say, because when you have WordPress, you have the backing of thousands upon thousands of people looking for vulnerabilities, looking for inefficiencies, and they are probably using AI, and they're using AI in the correct manner that we've talked about to be able to make it better and better and better. Versus just you in Claude Code or Codex with ChatGPT, you're not going to get nearly the quality. And on top of that, you're going to get all of these other options too. You got shopping cart with shopping cart options, or you got content management. You got all sorts of plugins that have been created over the years. You may have to pay for, but they're usually dirt cheap, like $10 a year, maybe $20 a year, and you got something solid that you don't have to worry about.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, even I muted you because we're getting all sorts of background noise.
So I think you brought up a good point that I haven't even thought about in many, many years. WordPress.
Many years. Lots of years.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I remember making the decision whether I was going to go with one of the other ones or an open source. I went ahead with the WordPress. But here's really a good point. It's that, how often, and you can use your hands, Ivana, how often in a 6-month period do you have to push the update button in WordPress?
Oh, yeah, take yourself.
I'm not allowed to press the update button until my developer tells me it's okay. But I could do it like 3 times a day.
Right. Exactly. So here's what, just think about this, guys. WordPress, you're constantly updating because most of the times they're finding vulnerabilities. So you're always getting updates to pump down the vulnerabilities out there. If you're building these apps, I'm telling you, there are going to be, once you get a whole lot of people on it, then there are going to be, as long as you're just, brand new and fresh and nobody's really knowing who you are, there's not going to be vulnerabilities, or people are not going to be looking for them. But as soon as you get to where you are actually making that money and a lot of people are on your system, there are going to be people out there that are going to try to jailbreak your system, and you need to have a team for that.
I will say probably multiple times a week, maybe even multiple times a day, Small Business Trends gets scanned, and I can look in the logs and I could go, yep, you're trying to scan for vulnerabilities. You're trying to scan for vulnerabilities because there are, they're going after outdated plugins that have a certain vulnerability, and you can tell it's like they're looking for specific files to be able to run malicious scripts. But as long as you got it relatively updated, it's not like you need to be like constantly, day one, once an update comes out, throw on the update. But as long as you're updating it relatively quickly over time, you should be fine with WordPress.
And just think about this, man. That's a good point, Leland. Just think about it. That was actually humans. Now we're going to have bots doing it. Well, not even bots, but agents doing it. I mean, how much of that kind of stuff is going to be? We're about to go into man, it's about to get crazy in these streets.
I'm just going to throw this up because throw this up doesn't sound good. What we're seeing here is the frontier defenses, the big guys, the OpenAIs, the Anthropics. They've been running the show, and they like running the show, and their stuff is closed systems. But these open, a lot of them come from China. These open LLMs using open source are really starting to flood the market. And there's no way to really stop them at the moment because there's no regulations. And that's why you're seeing a company like Anthropic trying to put the brakes on, at least slow it down, although they're not saying they are slowing it down because it's open and it's going to put a chink in their business. That's exactly what's happening. And so you're seeing a lot of the power in this AI fight start to leave these open AIs and the Anthropics, moving more towards companies that are working with the open platforms. And it's not just the Chinese LLM makers. The power is actually going into the platform because all the stuff that they just talked about, it's going to be built into these big platforms where all these language models run. So keep your eye on a company like, I know it's not the most, I don't know. I think a lot of people have downed Microsoft, but Microsoft is one of those companies that's in the right position because they're not afraid of the open platform. They're actually on the side of these open platforms because they already have a big stake in OpenAI. I think they have one in Anthropic too. So look at the companies that work with all of these things and have no real stake in the game from a standpoint, I need this company to win. The platforms, the AWSs, the Azures that run all these language models and run all the AI infrastructure, they're the ones you want to see what they're doing and keep an eye on what they're managing because they got the money and they got the power in terms of just pure device hardware. And a company like Microsoft also has applications. They are productivity apps. That's why you're seeing AI built into these productivity office apps. You're seeing AI built into these industry verticals that do enterprise relationship processing and CRM and workforce management. AI is going into everything. So it's not about the model anymore. A lot of people aren't saying it's not about the individual model maker. It's about how do these models end up in the places where you use them. Keep an eye on that because I think that's one of those things people aren't talking about as much as the individual, OpenAI is this or Anthropic is that. I don't think they're going to have the power they have now in 2 to 5 years. It'll be distributed across because these LLMs that are coming from open source, they're getting as sophisticated as the ones that they've held in that little black box of theirs. So we'll see how that all works out. But I think you need to keep an eye on stuff. You don't have to get detailed, but you kind of have to see where the ball is going, so to speak. It's going away from the pure black box language models to the open source. And it's not the individual open source. It's the fact that companies like Microsoft are backing these open sources and they have a lot of money to throw at it. And they actually are what the language models are running on for the most part until people start building out their own devices and running them on Apple, which there was a great article that came out that said Apple is in the best position right now to be the leader in AI, which I'm not there yet, but it's an interesting case. One last thing before we go. I've been trying to get to this all hour, but even really did post a very interesting article around AI and its role in content and AI slop and all. I know we don't have a lot of time, but even can you just kind of talk us through the high level and what you were pointing out?
Yeah, so of course I hit the news this week that Anthropic was going to be putting this digital invisible watermark in all copy that contained AI, right? And everyone's talking about it, and oh, is this a good thing? And oh, is this a bad thing? And I'm seeing comments and videos and all kinds of stuff. And I just asked myself the question. I was like, okay, that isn't the point. What that watermark is going to tell you is that something was generated by AI. Now, I use AI for everything. The reason my article looks beautiful is because AI got in there and made all kinds of pretty code. That's why it looks so pretty. That's why it's got beautiful gradient boxes and things like that, right? So that made me think that that watermark is going to tell you the origin. It's going to tell you what has touched it. It isn't going to tell you the quality of it. And that has never, ever, ever changed. Google has continued to focus on EEAT and what is it that they call it? The usefulness, right? How useful is your content? And all of that comes from your head, which is why I gave Michael that advice, which is do it in your head first, right? And so that my whole point was, I think we're asking the wrong question. AI slop is just basically putting in a stupid prompt, you're going to get a stupid answer. You want to test it, take something you know really well, put that up in the prompt, and see what comes back. And if you know the subject well, whether it's a recipe, whether it's a language, or whether it's something in your industry, you're immediately going to see where it's weak. Well, that is slop, right? So, and the article that you read, Brent, that you said you loved so much, had AI all over it. But it also had myself all over it because it had a unique point of view. I don't know if that was enough of an overview.
Yep. Guess what? We put this back up. Guess what generated that? It was AI, but it came from me asking questions and wanting certain things represented. But if it was up to me to make it look like this, hell to the no. I'm all for AI being used, but like Ivana says, the right way, not to create junk, but to create real, concrete concepts, thoughts, innovations. You have to put in the stuff in order for it to come out and look like it, even as report or even that. And I think that's what's getting lost. I don't care about AI slop. I care about slop. And if you use AI to create slop, it's just as bad as if you didn't use AI and you still created slop. It's slop. Don't do it.
So about a year ago, I was at the Adobe Max conference, and I was talking to the guy who does Adobe Firefly. He's like one of the leads there, and I was talking about the getting away from stock photos, and he's like, but why? Why would you want to get away from stock photos? And I had two reasons, and one of them is like, okay, so I have this article about franchises doing paperwork. I cannot for the life of me find some guy with like a burger, uniform or something like that, something that screams I'm in a fast food restaurant and I'm doing paperwork. All I can find is like small business people. So with AI, I could get something that is very curated that I could never usually get with like stock photos. The other reason is I'm, getting so many legal paperwork from these stock photo people that it's just it's to the point where I'm like, I don't want to spend half my time proving that I actually bought these images. But the first stance, it's like I can do something that a normal person hasn't done with a stock photo. I can get something extremely unique. It may look a little sloppy, but it's tailored more towards my end goal than anything that I can get through stock photos. And he's like, that makes sense.
Nothing from the bold one or the cold one. Hey, look, I'll just add this while you're smiling for some reason. AI slop can look really great. I'm not saying it's about the look. It could be, but it doesn't have to be. It could look fabulous, and it could be a bunch of nonsense, a bunch of lies. So it's not just about the way it looks. It's really about the whole of the content. If it looks good and it makes sense and it is logical and it represents something that is real, using AI is great for it. But don't expect just to use AI, in some little slapdash way and expect it to output something that is not considered to be slop by probably the audience you're looking to get in front of. Just keep that in mind.
Well, John, I'm surprised you didn't jump in with this. I was trolling Facebook, and I think I ran into something, and I think you did like sort of what is it, an AI twin, right? And I see a lot of content out there that comes across my videos that literally says like AI generated. It is an AI, a real person's AI avatar talking. Okay. Visually, that annoys me. Sometimes the audio of it annoys me sometimes. However, I will overcome all of that if the content is good and unique and provides real value. And I think, what is it? No matter what you do, there's a triangle, right? You can have it good, you can have it fast, or you can have, I forget what the other one, cheap. Good, fast, or cheap. You can do any two, but you can't do all of them, right? So I think the same is true in this area. So as a real example, this idea of using an AI avatar or using AI to create video content, it's going to be cheap, right? And it's going to be fast. It's going to be cheap and it's going to be fast, but it may not be good. And if your whole business brand is based on like some kind of quality of relationship or like something really personal and human, then like that makes no sense at all.
I mean, look, AI slop, I don't know, this conversation gets thrown around a lot, but I mean, AI slop is basically low quality, mass produced digital content. That's what slop is. It's not something that's decent.
That's your definition. I have a different definition, but that's okay.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, but slop is for sloppy. So that's where it comes from. And AI, if it's making sloppy content, that's AI slop. But I mean, you look at any bookshop, you can walk into a bookstore, and I will bet you if you go to the autobiography section, 90% of that is not written by the person that is on the cover. So this idea of something else writing for something else is not a new idea. We've been having that for years, for decades, millennial. And that the difference is we've got AI that can actually do it better than most humans. So get used to it. It's not going anywhere, and it's going to take over. And if you've never been on YouTube or, I'm not going to say YouTube as much as the other social channels like TikTok, I'm betting you right now, 70 to 80% of that is generated by AI.
And yeah, once again, I'll just add my little difference.
I don't care.
I don't
care.
But look, I'm just saying what mine is. All right. I'm not worried about everybody.
I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, you are. You are.
No, I'm not.
You said it right to me, right to my face, with my shirt on your body. You say that. No, I'm just saying that.
I'm talking to you.
I know. I'm just saying this though. Yeah, I think the kind of the most understandable, high level definition of slop is exactly what you're saying. But my I think I've edited or updated my definition, because if I look at something on YouTube of like something happens and people start to talk about or make videos about it, the first couple are pretty good. By the millionth one, it's slop to me. I don't want to see it. I don't care. I liked it when it was there. I don't like it when you're still talking about it here. I include that as my definition of slop, because all it does is make me have to wade through more junk. That's all I was going to add. That's it. If it looks sloppy, yeah, okay, yeah, it's sloppy. But if it looks good, but you're 2 millionth person that talked about the damn thing, stop. We already get it. That's all I'm saying. That's my. All right, we went way over time, but it was really interesting. We had some good participation from our folks in the comments section. We definitely appreciate that. Michael, I hope you're able to take some of the advice that the folks left you here, and hopefully it'll help you. Good luck with everything. And of course, we always love to see Amber in the comments section. So thank you, Amber, for being here. Any last thoughts before we head out? We're all out of thoughts, folks. You drained us dry. We will see you next Friday. Yeah, have a great weekend. We'll see you next Friday. See you.